Welcome back. Interviewing for a job can be a stressful experience. The perspective is often focused on hoping you are selected. However, as the interviewee, you want to make sure you select the right fit for you too. Preparing targeted questions for your interview is a good way to find the right fit. Let's take a look at some sample questions that may be of benefit. All right, so let's jump right into the teacher interview questions. So we're going to have our overview and our purpose, look at the importance and some considerations, look at the actual questions, and we'll have some keys to remember. So what's the purpose of these sets of questions? It's for the interviewee, you as the teacher, going into an interview. It shouldn't be a one-way, conversation where, the interviewer is just asking you questions or telling you information. It empowers the teacher to ask meaningful questions. It shifts from interviewee to professional collaborator. So now there's a reciprocal process going on. You can gather insights about the school culture, and you can demonstrate preparedness and make sure that you're the right fit on both sides, both from the interviewer's standpoint and from yours. And you can only do that through asking these questions. And we're going to go definitely more deeper into what these questions do, how they're of benefit. So why does it matter? Like we said, interviews should be a reciprocal conversation, two-way conversation, as well as strong questions show confidence and experience, right? So you think about it as an interviewer. If the person you're interviewing doesn't ask you certain questions, you kind of get the feeling like, oh, you either are not going to speak up or you don't know what to ask, right? So it's one of those situations where when you're asking strong questions, it shows that, hey, I know what I'm doing and I have an understanding of what I'm doing because the questions I'm asking are on target and they're purposeful. They're not just random questions, right? It helps avoid wrong job placement. A lot of times we don't ask questions. We just happy just to get the interview. Oh, they picked me, and then I'm in a job and this is not the place for me, right? So you can save yourself as well as the respective school a lot of time by asking these questions to make sure that the position you're applying for is a fit for you. So some considerations about your questions, right? Align questions with your teaching style, right? So you're not gonna, if you are a, maker space and project-based teacher, you wanna align your questions with that in the sense of, what type of resources, and we're gonna talk about that later, ironically, but what type of resources do you have available? Because I like to do a lot of projects. I like students to create, blah, blah, blah. Avoid easily searchable questions. Don't ask how many students are enrolled. You can see that online. How long have you been the principal? That type of stuff. If you can find it online through a simple Google search, you shouldn't need to ask it. That shows, it shows a lack of maturity, if you will, on the part of the interviewee, because it's like, oh, well, a lack of resourcefulness. That's what it is. A lack of resourcefulness on the part of the interviewee, because it's like, that stuff is readily available online. Why didn't you just look it up? Focus on students and culture. Those are things that you can't always see online, right? What type of students are we working with? What type of culture is here at the school? Those are the questions you want to prioritize because you want to make sure it's a right fit for you. Prioritize quality over quantity. Yes, we have suggested 10 questions. You don't have to ask all 10. You could, reword some of them to where they're more poignant and more targeted, and maybe you only ask 3. Cool. You might not have time to ask 3. So maybe you want to make sure, all right, if I have time, no matter what, I'm going to ask these 2 questions. And then if I have time, I have a third one in my back pocket. So you'll get the feel when you're in the interview of how many questions you can ask, but you want to make sure that you ask those targeted questions so that you have an understanding. So the purpose of this presentation is to get you thinking about what is it I need to ask? How do I want to ask it? How do I want to word my questions? So when it comes to your role and available support, questions you can ask. What does success look like for a teacher in this role? Is it measured by just test scores? Is it measured by student growth? Is it measured by, evaluations? Is it a combination? What does success look like for a teacher in this role? This makes picking the right spot easier for the teacher, because if they say, oh yes, if your students, excel on the state test, we know you've been successful. That's it? Yes, that's it. Okay, that might or might not be the spot for you. In regards to support, how do you support new teachers? Oh, well, there's stuff available through the county that you can attend, blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay. So there's nothing in-house? No, we don't really have anything in-house. We utilize the consultants from the district to support our teachers. They go to meetings, this, that, and other. Oh, okay. Thank you. So in regards to the student population, what challenges do students face here? So this is a very important question, because you could say, oh, well, I teach in urban environments. That's cool. You're familiar with urban environments, okay? Cool. But the urban environment in Atlanta is not the same as the urban environment in DC. Okay? It's different. They have similarities, but it's different. So those kids are going to be different. So you want to know, what kind of challenges do students face here? And then you also don't want to be presumptuous in the sense that, oh, just because it's an urban environment, oh, I know they're facing this, and I know you don't know that. So you need to ask, because if you understand the challenges students are facing, then you know whether you're equipped or not to take on those students and take on this responsibility. Some people, they don't want that responsibility, and it's not a a gotcha or a bad thing. They know what they want. They know they don't want to deal with certain things. Cool. You won't know until you ask, right? And how is student data used? What type of student data do you provide? So these are things where you can look at the population, questions you can ask about the student population that any interviewer should be able to answer for you. And if not, then you put that in your toolbox and understand, that tells you a lot about the place you're going to or you're applying for if they can't answer these questions. In regards to discipline and communication, how is discipline handled? Is it all on the teacher? Do we have a vice principal that handles these things? How involved are the parents? And then communication, how are families engaged? Is it just, when something goes wrong? Is it through, Dojo? Is it through just email? Is it always a phone call? Are we allowed to invite parents into the building? How are families engaged? These are questions they're very simplistic questions, and they should have some form of answer from the interviewer that you're sitting down with. But you want to know these things because you don't want to get in a situation, for example, with discipline where, there's a physical altercation. You don't know how it's handled because you never asked a question, and you handle it a certain way, and the administrator pulls you to the side like, oh no, you're a problem. That's a problem. You can't do what you just did, right? Or, oh, you know what? This kid is throwing stuff around my classroom. I need an administrator. Oh, we don't handle that. You just have to call the parent and try to get them to calm down. You've already been hired. It's too late now. So you ask these questions ahead of time so you can get an understanding. In regards to the staff and resources, what is staff culture like? That should be a question that an interviewer should be able to answer. Now, in present day, a lot of times the interviewer is like a panel where you may have a teacher, an administrator, and possibly the principal present or a coordinator present. So somebody on that panel or the interviewer should be able to answer that question for you. What is the staff culture like? You want to know, if it's all, oh, everybody, gets along and blah, 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 might raise a red flag. Why? Because it's no way everybody gets along. Okay, So but you won't know until you ask that question, right? Then what curriculum/resources are provided? We talked about that in regards to that first slide. What is available? What does the curriculum look like? What resources are available for us to support the students and support the curriculum? Is the curriculum rigid? Is it a rigid curriculum that you want me to work with, or is there some autonomy present where I can mix and match and do what's best for my students? Then you want to talk about your growth and next steps, right? There's a premise out there that after, I think it's 10 years of doing the same job, you want to switch up because it becomes stagnant and the performance becomes mediocre because you're like, oh, I've been doing this. It's like, routine. So you want to be able to switch up. It doesn't mean that you switch professions per se, but you want to switch roles. Maybe you teach a new grade level. Maybe you teach at a different population, school population. Maybe you teach in another state. Something, you need to switch it up to keep yourself challenged, right? So you want to know what growth opportunities exist. If I get hired as a teacher, am I going to remain a teacher for my whole time here? Is there any opportunity for me to become a coordinator? Is there any opportunity for me to become a team leader, maybe an administrator, maybe a dean of culture, what have you? What opportunities exist for, this school? And what are the next hiring steps? What comes next? We've done the interview. Am I waiting? What should I prepare for? So what are the benefits of asking these types of questions? Well, the teacher benefits, better job fit, right? You start to get information about this particular position and you have a better understanding of what it entails and what you might experience. So if it's not for you, if the challenges the students are going to face is not something that you can deal with, don't take the job. Okay? Don't take the job because you don't want to deal with that, and it's present. So it's not like all of a sudden they're going to fill your class with all the kids that don't have that challenge. Stop it. Okay? Expectations become clear. By asking these questions, you can pull out the expectations, I expect you to, as far as like even grow. Oh no, I expect you to be in this classroom for the next 10 years. There's really nothing for you to do, right? So the expectations are clear. You're asking questions about discipline, right? Why? So you can have a clear understanding of what happens when disciplinary action needs to be taken. It's clear. You asked that question, you followed up on it. Stronger confidence. After you ask these questions, you have a better feel and a better confidence about making the choice to join that school or to continue searching. And it leaves a positive professional impression, right? Oh, wow. Instead of you being, kind of the beggar of the job, it's like, oh, you know what? That person was inquisitive. They were proactive. They showed initiative. Oh, that's the person we want. Now they're chasing you rather than you chasing a job. What are the school benefits? Finds reflective candidates. Okay. You want to be, when an interviewer is interviewing, they, believe it or not, they don't want to micromanage. They want to know, all right, if I put this person in the classroom, they can handle their own. And by asking questions such as the ones we propose, you're demonstrating your ability and your understanding of the nuances of teaching, which shows that you're a reflective candidate. And 9 times out of 10, I can put you in that classroom and you can hold your own. It improves retention because now the fits are better. You've asked questions and you're not going to go someplace where that doesn't fit for you. And they've asked you questions. You know what I mean? So you want to be here because after they answered your questions, you're like, yes, that's the place for me. Why would you join up if it's not a place you want to be, which in turn can improve retention? And it strengthens the culture because retention, when they're quality teachers, Retaining quality teachers strengthens culture, right? Because now I'm bringing in people that are inquisitive, that are proactive, that show initiative, and that really know that this is the place that they want to be. So some keys to remember: ask intentional questions. We're not just asking questions for the sake of it. We're gathering information. We're gathering data. Focus on students and systems, okay? The other information, you can probably find it online. You can find it online on the school website, the district website, what have you. Focus on the students and what systems are in place at that particular school to handle all the student behaviors, the parent engagement, the curriculum, and so forth. Again, quality over quantity. We gave you 10 choices. You can mix and match. You can adjust them, but keep the spirit of the topic in mind as you adjust these questions. But maybe you only get to ask 2 or 3, so make them count. And your questions should reflect your purpose, right? Why am I coming here? Why am I interviewing for this job? Why do I want to be a part of this school family? Your question should reflect your purpose for being, in front of or wanting to be a part of that school community. We hope that helped. Remember, the right fit is important to your longevity. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.